answer that using this system, there are some monies which were directly paid to the center, which has been very, very difficult for the center to segregate which province had brought in how much into there. B, compliance with registration or regulations. Displacement of payroll area. The response, the observation by the committee is noted. So, rather, by the auditor is noted. The committee may wish to note that following the creation of the new districts, namely Lunte, Senga, and Lupososhi, and as per presidential directives, some officers were attached to various departments to ensure that government is operational in these districts. The committee may wish to note that officers under the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation were transferred following the restructuring of the ministry in 2021 to various ministries, especially education. But the officers were still appearing on provincial administration payroll until 2024, when the officers were transferred back to the provincial administration. Additionally, the committee may wish to note that out of the 12,490,888 kwacha, 2,617,546 kwacha is accounting for 38 officers that are no longer on our payroll as at 30th October 2024. For the remaining balance of 9,873,669 kwacha, these are 137 officers that are rightfully serving in various departments and districts as assigned by the Civil Service Commission and the controlling officer, according to the needs and deficits in the staff establishment registers for some departments and districts. We may refer to the attached schedule and staff assignment as Appendix 2A. In order to manage and minimize misplacements, Provincial Administration, Northern Province, has written to the Public Service Management Division to normalize the attachment of officers to the newly created districts and also engage PENIC, Support Services Department, to normalize the establishment and payroll for officers transferred out and in. Furthermore, Provincial Administration, Northern Province, has been requesting for Treasury Authority for the new districts and frozen positions annually to ensure the all departments and districts are adequately staffed to avoid displacements. This also can be referred to Appendix 2A. Frozen key positions. The observation by the committee has been duly noted. Provincial Administration, Northern Province wishes to highlight that requests to unfreeze frozen positions have been submitted to the Public Service Management Division annually. However, it was only in 2020 that a response was received as indicated in the minute dated 3rd July 2019. Please refer to the attachments in Appendix 2 for further details. General deposit account. It is as it is. You may refer to that table, which is table 2. Rehabilitation of national registration officers, including project status. We go up to page 7. Our response, Chairperson, the observation is noted. I wish to report that the outstanding works have since been completed. Appendix 3. Failure to settle outstanding obligation. May refer also to the table as table 4. Our response: the concerns raised by the auditors is well noted. I wish to report that the province every year budgets for dismantling of arrears depending on the provincial indicative figures. As for 2023, the province received 2,440,497 kwacha for other Ps to settle such obligations. The funding was received and the arrears dismantled. In 2024, we budgeted for 2,515,177 and received 207,527.47 in way. In addition, the Ministry of Finance was uploaded arrears in IFMIS for all spending agencies and 2821 budget line for further consideration, Appendix 4. This meant, Chair, that the arrears now are being dealt by the ministry directly. Further, I wish to report that arrears keep on accumulating every year due to retirements, deaths, leave travel entitlement, transfers, and other salary-related obligation. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, PS. Honorable members, you may now proceed to ask questions, starting with the 1.1, that's budget funding and expenditure. Honorable Mai.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, PS, for that wonderful submission coming from the people of Kasama, the headquarters of Northern Province. PS, the committee is concerned at A, failure to meet set targets, issues to do with land survey. In your response, you are saying the challenge was the ZILA system, and you concentrated on educating the people of Northern Province how good this system is. You were having public meetings to give them awareness on how they can deposit their money, and in some cases, in some areas, there was no internet. Places like Mbala, Mpulungu, Mporokoso, Nsama, and Kaputa. In some cases, some clients do not have smartphones to help them access the system. So, PS, what the committee would want to understand, at the time when these targets were being given to Northern Province, the department was not given a training on how effective this system was, or it was something which came as a surprise to them, because for you to be given targets and now you say we failed to perform because we concentrated on educating people, we didn't have internet, and now us as Public Accounts Committee, we know the burden on the economy, we need the money. So when targets are set out, we expect income to come into the treasury. So the committee would want to understand what was the main issue. Was it that this system was given to your department without them having the knowledge on how to use it, or they just accepted? Why didn't you say, no, this system, it will be difficult for us to meet these targets under this year because of ABCD? Mr. Chairman, I submit.
Honorable Mwila.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Further to the question regarding the performance.
And kindly introduce yourself before, because you are not there when you are doing it.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Chair. PS and the team, I'm Gordon Mira. I'm Member of Parliament for Mufulira Central Constituency. So my question is on the failure to meet targets as it has been observed. Now my question, especially on the number of properties surveyed, the target was 200 and the actual is 0. So the reason attributed to the introduction of ZIRAS, which was in June, actually it's about May of 2023. So how do you explain then the period January to May or June? Because then ZIRAS had not been introduced and it was business as usual. Does it mean that during that period, what could have led to not even one being surveyed? Because this ZIRAS did not operate throughout the year. How do you account for the period before that? I submit.
Honorable Mwamba.
Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Swongile Mwamba. I represent the people of Kasama Central constituency. Just a rider to both the questions that were currently on the floor. Controlling officer, I wanted to find out, was your budget realistic considering that you were introducing a new system? I submit. Thank you.
Please take those 3 questions.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you very much, honorable members, for these wonderful questions. Sir, we are not taken without knowing that the system was effective. We did. Our officers were adequately trained with this system. The point that we are raising, Chair, is that these monies, when they started flowing, they are flowing now direct to the center. It doesn't come now to the provinces. And it is the center, that's where we have had challenges which have been alluded to in many times, in many meetings for senior management committees, chaired by the Secretary to Cabinet. Given an assignment to Smart Zambia to work in collaboration with the ministry to ensure that they are able to segregate. The unfortunate thing, sir, is that we haven't been given yet what Smart Zambia has done. And related to that, the monies that we collected so far, which is indicated in the table, does not, this is the monies which was paid to direct to the provinces or the districts, and then to the provinces. So what we did not understand, I think, from the initial point is that how to segregate the figures once they reach the center. The issue of number of properties surveyed, I must seek your indulgence, Chair, that I think this was a typo. These were raised as a result of the same undertaking. They could have not raised these monies if we did not survey any land. It serves me right. I think there was something like 67 plots that were completed.
What the PS, are you trying to disown your own submission? Because according to table 1, that's what you have submitted.
Yes.
That against the number of properties surveyed, it's indicating 0. So are you trying to disown your own submission, PS?
Chair.
See. Okay. Okay. No, proceed, PS. Can you proceed with your submission?
Thank you very much.
I'm being advised that this is from Auditor General.
That's what I wanted to come to.
Okay.
So there was something that was done as a result of.
So, but what is your submission to that effect?
Our submission, that's why I was seeking for indulgence, Chair, that we raised, at least we surveyed 65. 65 plots. You can confirm, Mr. Yes.
Is it in your submission, PS? And are you able to substantiate it? Are you able to substantiate your statement?
The figures.
Are you able to prove
Yes.
that indeed you surveyed 65 properties?
Yes, sir.
Where can we make reference to substantiate your statement?
When you look, Chair, at the amount of money that was raised, the amount of money that was raised could have not been raised had we not done survey. Because this is where the money is coming from.
And we
420.
Yes, just order, maybe guidance from AG. AG? Can we have the mic, please?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think when we followed the audit process, I think we had raised this issue in our management letter. But what was submitted, Chair, the province submitted that they had actually surveyed 115 according to this response. However, when we went on the ground, this is the evidence which was not given to us. So as much as we acknowledge that there was money that was raised, but there was no evidence that was given to the auditors to, of course, to verify that the 115 properties had actually been surveyed. So maybe, Chair, this could be the question of maybe if there's information regarding these properties which were surveyed, maybe we can be able to look at it when we get back to Northern. But as of I issued this status on 19th June, there was still no that information. I submit, Chair.
PS, you have heard from the Honorable May have something to say?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. 19th June, this is December, and this response, Mr. Chairman, it is coming from the province itself, and in their response, they have not submitted anything of that nature. And what I want to find out from the controlling officer, whether the department from survey, you were together when you were preparing this mission, and if so, what was wrong for them to say, no, in fact, we had done this number of properties because we 115, then of 65.
Yes.
So now the committee will be at sea, which one to follow. So why didn't the department help the PS to say, in fact, this is what we did, than them remaining quiet? Because had they done something, it was going to reflect in their submission. So I don't know where things went wrong. Maybe the department can help the PS to clarify this matter.
Do we have someone from survey? Northern Province.
No, we
PS, of course, through the PS, you have to speak through your PS. PS, do we have anyone from survey? Give us a minute.
No, sir, we do not have someone from survey. We have just one from lands.
Yeah, maybe even from lands. He may
Lands
assist
will
you to make response to this question.
Much obliged. Mr. Siam.
You can delegate.
Thank you very much, Chair. The number of properties that were surveyed was only 65 in 2023. The reason being that the funding came late in November 2023, which was applied early this year. So that is the response, sir.
PS, to us, this is a speculation. I'm sure you heard the Honorable Mai very well. Are you able to give us tangible evidence that indeed 65 properties were surveyed? Because in fact, that's what Auditor General was looking for when they came to Northern Province. They are saying equally you couldn't provide evidence to that effect. And we have given you an opportunity to respond or to react to the query, but again, you are unable to provide substantive evidence so that this query can be cleared. You just need to make a submission which can be subjected to verification by the Auditor General. So, as it stands, we don't know how many properties were surveyed, unless you are able to provide evidence to that effect. What is your take, PS, on this?
Thank you very much, Chair. Maybe I seek your indulgence again, that when we get back, we submit again to auditor to verify the number of plots that we could have surveyed.
Guidance on this matter?
Thank you very much. I think maybe that could be the direction. We verify when we get to, when they submit the evidence, Chair. I submit.
Have you exhausted all the questions?
No, sir, there is one remaining from...
You may proceed to respond.
Thank you, sir. Our estimates were very reasonable, and we are eager to the task that we are going to accomplish. The other challenge that we faced in the year is what Honorable Umai referred to, the financial challenges that we are facing. We only got our finances at the very tail end of the calendar, so we are unable to execute most of these undertakings. I submit.
Any follow-up, Honorable Member?
Thank you, Chair. Controlling Officer, the committee would like to know why you didn't use both the old and the new system for collecting revenue as you were doing your migration. I submit. Thank you.
Just to add, PS, under budget funding and expenditure, there is an unspent amount of 86,594. In your response, you didn't provide any substance as to why this money remained unspent at the end of the financial year in question. The committee would want to find out the reasoning behind the unspent amount of 86,594. So as you respond to Honorable Member's question, follow-up question, you may also attempt to respond to that.
Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable Chair, we applied both systems. In fact, there is a letter to that effect after we queried. There is a letter to that effect which is appended, that we are supposed to use both as we migrating. We applied that. Coming to the 86,594 kwacha, which was remaining as a balance, may I request the Director of Finance to assist?
Director of Finance, kindly assist your PS.
Yes, sir. Chair, there are some few reasons which made this money to remain. One of the reasons is that the way the Ministry of Finance have given us the guidelines, they give us a cut-off period. So sometimes when we pay our clients, if their accounts are incorrect, when we are closing the accounts, we reverse the payments. So some of the money that remained was because of the reversals. So I submit.
Honorable members, we can progress. Let's make progress. We can proceed to misplacement of payroll area. Honorable Mwira.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, regarding this misplacement on the of the payroll, we would like to find out what follow-ups have been made with the Public Service Management Division and the PEMEX support services to ensure that the misplacements are normalized. That's a mention.
Yes, you can take that question.
Thank you, sir. Chair, if you look at the appendixes that we have to this question, you observe that there are a number of letters annually that we write to them to ensure that we normalize this query. Unfortunately, it continues to persist. I submit.
Honorable Mura, any follow-up? Honorable members, silence means that we can make progress. Honorable member.
Chair, maybe just a final one. I know the controlling officer has informed the committee that they have written several letters to PSMD, but there's been nothing. So the committee would like to also find out what follow-ups have been made with PSMD and PEMIC support service department to ensure that the misplacements are normalized. Thank you.
Yes. Can you
Thank you very much,
question?
Honorable Member. What we submit is written submissions. We've had verbal meetings with the colleagues in the ministry and departments. I could not allude to them because these were just verbal meetings. But what can be proved before this committee is what we've written to them. Submitted.
Controlling officer, we had in 2022, we looked at that in detail. We had a separate audit report on the issues related to payroll related matters. And this committee made very strong recommendations to that effect. We don't understand why such things keep on coming back to the committee. Because recommendations were made and we expected that by this time things could have improved. What is it that is a problem with regards to making sure that we work within the provided guidelines with regards to payroll? Where is the problem? The committee would want actually to be addressed on that matter because we don't understand. We called PSMD to appear before this committee. And everything was ironed out and very strong recommendations were made to that effect. Permanent Secretary, can you put us to speed as to why these things keep on coming back to this committee?
Thank you very much, Chair. The efforts from the province, you will note that we had positions of about 471, and that has been contained. And we managed to secure 120 in efforts to liquidate that outstanding number. The recommendations I recall very well in this committee, PSMD were seated and other people. Sir, we are limited from the provincial point of view. We can only go that far. The final people who resolve this equation are those at PSMD and other institutions. We end up at writing to them, meeting with them, talking to them. That's why we're confined, Chair. Beyond that, it becomes very difficult for me to resolve this issue. How I wished we were the people to do the final undertaking on that issue. We do not take pride in appearing before you talking about the same things every year. No. Even when we see it coming back, we say, but what is going on? So that is my submission, Chair.
Honorable members, any follow-up? If no follow-up progress, we may go to frozen key positions. Honorable Miller.
Thank you very much, Chair. In this area, I've seen there's a lot of correspondence, between the provincial administration and PSMD requesting to unfreeze, and some of the responses are that there's no need to unfreeze. So I just wanted to find out where are we now, because the correspondence is several dates and back and forth. So some of these positions, they're even saying there's no need because of decentralization and everything else. So where do we stand? It's a bit confusing now, Chair, because when the province is saying can you unfreeze, they are saying no, because of decentralization you don't need this position and that position. So where do we stand generally on these frozen positions? I submit, Chair.
Please take that question.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I thank the honorable member who is sympathetic to the province. That is the situation, unfortunately. PSMD and other institutions of government, they've stated their position. For us, we're just at the very tail end of receiving end. We remind them, yes, if they don't respond as we want, we take it that they're doing the right thing. How I wished this question, sir, if they're appearing here or something, would go to them again, you'll have helped the provinces a great deal.
Honorable Mina, follow-up question.
So, PS, does it mean your position is that you actually do not agree with what they are saying, because they are referring you to alternative solutions? While you want these positions unfrozen and be filled, they are referring you to solutions like decentralization, where there are already other existing positions that can perform the same functions. So is your position that you do not actually agree with the way they are leading you to? I submit, Chair.
Yes, can you take that question?
Thank you, sir. It's a very delicate question, in the sense that we have establishments which haven't been changed. I think first thing first, the establishment changed, and then we go in accordance with the decentralization. The establishment is not yet changed, then we go into this question of decentralization. From where I sit, I think the first thing would have been first establishment to be amended. We remove some of these. They are very critical positions for us in as far as we are concerned as the province for service delivery. I submit.
Honorable members, if there are no more follow-up questions, we'll make progress. Let's go to the general deposit account. That's where we have a look at the project status of the rehabilitation of the national registration offices in Insama, Chiruvi, Kaputa, Ruwingo, and Mporokoso. Yes, just as a matter of interest, why is it that at the time of verification, most of these sites were vacated by the contractors? There was no presence with regards to the contractors on most of these sites. Why is it that that was happening when most of these structures are incomplete? Maybe as the members are still looking at what they would ask you, out of interest, why is it that there was no contractor presence by the time of verification?
Thank you very much, Chair. If you look through the report, I think the biggest component of the contract at this particular time were air condition. And I think when he reported to the project manager that he had imported these things from China, it was that window as they are waiting for these that they were not on site. However, when it was indicated to us that they were not in sight, we held a meeting with the project manager and the contractors, and they were compelled to get back to the contract site. And I'm happy to report that it has been delivered.
And over and above that, why did the contractor delay to complete the works when the funds were available?
Sir, these contractors, when we are trying, government is trying by all means to try and promote low contractors. Our contractors, in most cases, they are a disappointment. Big disappointment, and I'm not ashamed to say it. They are a disappointment. Because you must always be whipping them to do some of these works. You'll appreciate, sir, if you to, away from what we are discussing, if you have to look at most of these local contractors, it's not anything to write about home. Yes, submit.
The PS will raise more questions now. When you come with lamentations here, because I will now ask you the procurement process before you awarded. Didn't you do the due diligence to ensure that this supplier, this contractor had the experience, capacity, and everything before you awarded? How was the procurement done when you discover during the project construction that in fact they are let down? So how did you procure them? How did you award them?
Yes,
Submission.
Kindly take that question.
Thank you very much, sir. It is true that most of our contractors, especially local contractors, they disappoint us. In the sense that there are three benchmarks for procurement as per government.
Yeah.
Quality, time, right price.
Yeah.
Under procurement, we did our due diligence. Everything submitted. Very, very happy with their submissions. When they go for executions, that's where you experience these challenges. That is very true, and it's not something that we can run away from, especially that we are trying to empower our local contractors. If you compare, say for instance, you take a foreign national compared to our local national, to our local people, to do with contract completion, quality, and many other stuff. In most cases, you must be on your toes every day visiting these projects. Otherwise, once you don't go there for 10 days, you find them there, they may not even be there. It is true, but we did quite well, that we had the capacity. It is just this I don't care attitude by most of our contractors. But otherwise, they had capacity.
Honorable Lungu, in that order.
So I think that PS, obviously you are saying that they have completed, but I think that the means were a problem, and you should be learning lessons, because number one, if going by the name can tell me anything, these constructions were awarded to a company which even by name their specialties dealing in the liquor and gender dealing generally, because this is the splash liquor trading and the gender dealers. By name generally should have been alerted that are we dealing with the right person. And secondly, it appears you gave them everything. This you gave them Sama, Chiruvi, unless you can clarify otherwise. You gave them in Sama, Chiruvi, Kaputa, Ruwengu, and in Porokosa. So you didn't even spread the risk. First of all, being a local contractor, obviously the capacities must be questioned or verified. But you even put all your eggs in one basket to all these districts. So the due diligence, I think, was not properly done. Even if we can say now they have delivered, but you took a very, very big risk to award the liquor specialists to do constructions, and you gave them everything. I'm sure they were not the only ones. If you really wanted to empower, the local contractors, these are so many projects to give to one who by name tells me that in fact construction is not one of their strengths. The risk you took was very big. You risked public funds, even if they have delivered, but they even delayed to complete. So I don't know how you ended up awarding such a big contract to a company dealing in liquor and general dealing. I submit.
Yes, just to add on what Honorable Mena just alluded to, do you have a due diligence report that you can submit before this committee so that we appreciate that indeed you did your best with regards to ensuring that there was capacity in these contractors prior to being awarded these contracts? Because as a committee you have seen already, we have seen some gray areas. You are alluding to the fact that the Zambians are a disappointment, when in fact it might be you who is being unrealistic with your expectations from them. Because we have seen, look at how many districts you gave them, one contractor, all those districts to do the works. So we would appreciate PS, as you give your submissions, you provide a due diligence report to substantiate your claims. Honorable Lungu.
Thank you, Chair. PS, all what you're articulating is being noted by the committee. I've just a few concerns over the award of the contract and the way the contract is being executed. I believe that the contractor is being paid in stages. When you saw that the way the contractor was executing the contract, when you noted that you had some challenges, why didn't you terminate the contract so that you can give to those that are serious? Because this song of saying Zambian contractors are not performing, it's not everyone. We have seen contractors, Zambian contractors, who have done good works. Because what you did, you didn't help the people of this district with the much needed projects that were the government was supposed to be given to these areas. I submit here.
Yes, kindly take those two questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just want first to allude to what the Honorable Miller said. We take note of the lessons that we have learned out of this. And secondly, that yes, we can submit a report on how the selection was conducted to this committee. However, the termination sometimes becomes quite expensive because we lose on time, we lose also money. To terminate contracts in most cases when you see that they are not performing, but we looked at the performance. They had reached in certain cases 80% and 75%, and we felt that we can talk to each other and be able to complete these projects in time. I submit, Chair.
You didn't respond to the issues that I raised. That for us to appreciate that indeed you ascertain the capacity of these contractors, are you able to lay on the table the proof in form of a due diligence report? Would want to appreciate, because you claimed that Zambian contractors are a disappointment. Government is giving a lot of support to people who cannot take them, who cannot appreciate. So we want to appreciate PS that indeed you did your very best with regards to the selection of these suppliers. Are you able to provide a due diligence report before this committee?
Chair, I would not be able to produce now, but given time, I would still give it to the auditors to verify and then send to the committee.
Okay, so kindly make sure that you make that available for verification,
So,
just like what we have agreed on the issues to do with the
survey.
the surveyed plots. Okay, so there are 2 reports already to be verified. Honorable members, progress. Progress, honorable members. Then, before we can make progress, controlling officer, with regards to these delays that were encountered during project implementation, can you put the committee to speed with regards to whether there were any recoveries in terms of liquidated damages on the delays that were encountered? Because in any project, there are terms and conditions that apply, which are supposed to be fair to both parties. If a contractor delays, he is supposed to be subjected to liquidated damages. If you as a client also you are in fundamental breach, there are issues of claims and interest that these people make with regards to the terms and conditions of the contract. So we'd want to find out, did you suffer any damages as a client, or did you subject this contractor to any liquidated damages in that regard? Can you respond, PS?
Thank you very much, Chair. Maybe at this point, allow me to ask the project manager to shed more light on that.
Project manager.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Regarding damages from the contractor, we've not yet done that because we're still in the liability period. Normally that is done when we do the final account. That's when we come to the issue of recovering from the contractor for the delayed works. And this has also a limit, a maximum limit on how much should be recovered from the contract. I submit.
Project manager, are you confirming that the terms and conditions of the contract are the provision for liquidated damages?
It's there. It's there. Though I may wish to report that part of the challenges that led to the delay is the terrain to these sites. I'm sure some of us have been to Kaputa and Chiruvi and Nsama. During rain season, these roads become impassable. So that also contributed to the delay.
Can you speak to the mic?
Yes, I was saying some of the reasons that contribute to the delay were issues to do with the road network to the sites, like Kaputa and Nsama. During rain season, these places become inaccessible. And Chiruvi on the waters, when the water levels are high, they started trying to ferry materials from the other side to the sites. So somehow the contractor had the reasons but justified the part of the delay.
Honorable members, progress. Honorable member, anything? Progress. Let's go to failure to settle outstanding obligations. Yes. In your submission, you stated that the arrears kept on accumulating due to retirements, deaths, leave, travel, entitlement, transfers, and other salary-related obligations. How do you intend to liquidate the outstanding obligations?
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, if you go to the last line, second last line, where it says, in addition, the Minister of Finance has uploaded arrears in IFMIS for all spending agencies until head 21, budget line for further consideration. We have been grappling with this issue. It's an every year issue. Now Minister of Finance has taken up all these to be settled by centrally.
And what measures have you put in place to ensure that the Minister of Finance liquidates outstanding obligations?
They came to the province and they applauded. So it now remains with the Minister of Finance to pay or to liquidate this outstanding. Ours is just to submit quarterly progress report, which we usually do, to ensure that we give them the current figures as they stand. I submit.
Yeah, maybe we can hear from the Accountant General.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe a clarification needs to be made to the controlling officer. The audit was undertaken, I think, where these domestic arrears and debt was done. Then there's a caution in terms of the spending agencies and ministries that they need to own up these debt, and Minister of Finance is now sending money to spending agencies to settle them. Concerning the upload into IFMIS, I need to get to the office and find out more information why it has been uploaded. Otherwise, Finance is now dismantling these areas through sending monies to provinces and the ministries so that they own up these debts. The problem that was there is that they were sending documents without having supporting documents. So it was very difficult to settle them centrally. So they need to own up and pay with the supporting documents at their respective stations. I submit, Chair.
Having heard from the Accountant General, PS, do you have anything to say to that effect?
I just take note of what the Accountant General said. We'll make a follow-up with them, so much that we are at the same wavelength.
PS, thank you very much for coming to appear before this committee. I know you have got so many challenges, but you need to ensure that in the interest of providing service to the Zambians, you ensure that you follow the laid down guidelines and laws. To us, especially on public procurement, PS, I think somehow your team was to blame for the delays in the execution of the civil works, because there is no way you can give one contractor whose field is not even related to construction so many projects. To us, we don't really believe that actually capacity was ascertained because of the outcome of the execution. You saw it for yourself, there were delays. So next time, take in interest as controlling officer. Don't leave everything to your subordinates. Pass through the reports before actually the awards are given, so that we ensure that the right type of works are given to the right type of contractors who have got enough capacity to execute in terms of the three factors: execute the project timely, quality, and at the right price. So we don't expect you to come again here to discuss issues to do with the execution of public works, complaining about delays. No. If you did your best and you did the right thing, you couldn't have come here to discuss about delays or queries couldn't have come from or arising from delays in executing public works. So explore your peers to go back and do your work properly. Go back and work and ensure that you provide the best to the Zambians. I thank you, and at this point I would like to lift your immunity, and PS, you are free to go.
Thank you very much.
Assembly of Zambia, in conjunction with the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum SADC PF, will host the 56th Plenary Assembly session from the 8th to 15th December 2024 at the Radisson Blue Mosotunya Resort in Livingstone under the theme Leveraging Technology and Innovation for Smart, Inclusive and Responsive Parliaments in the SADC region. SADC PF is a regional interparliamentary body comprising 15 national parliaments of SADC member states, namely Angola, Botswana, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, the Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Remember, it's from the 8th to 15th December 2024 at the Radisson Blue Mosotunya Resort in Livingstone, the tourist capital.
Unwrap a world of entertainment with DSTV.
Smash it, alright?
Wow, it's who I am.
It's time for you to see the world.
Also have feelings for you.
This is where all the fun times are happening.
There we go again.
Fantastical!
Join me. Come home for festive with DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Zambezi Magic is all about the best local shows, money. Keeping you and I hooked on that Z flair.
And with DSTV, I don't get to miss a single goal. And you know what? The kids, it's all about their favorite cartoons and their specials, and we get to watch big movies together.
If he loves you, he want my way. He want my way. He want my way. Oh, you. If she loves you, she want my way. She want my way. She want my way. Oh, you. Love is patient, love is kind, love is faithful, loyal and true. Love don't push nobody to do